Hey, folks, just a friendly reminder that all shows on the Madness Comic Network are produced by their individual hosts and in no way reflect the opinions of the network as a whole. The statements in the following broadcast are not necessarily the opinions of the Madness Comic Network, its staff, sponsors, or contributors. This show is rated TVMA, as are all of them and all those other letters. Viewer discretion is highly advised, and, just do what Doc says. Read that again. Peace, everybody.
Flip City Magazine is just really pulling out all the stops, man. Your guys' production value of this magazine has gone insane. I mean, look at that. I mean, I remember when you guys, it was black and white. Even when it was black and white, I thought your quality was great. But damn, they just really stepping it up a notch. Look at this. James Corbett, boys. James Corbett.
Genuinely cutting. But also funny, and obviously just chaotic and very fun.
I love Flip City. It has brought new types of badassery and integrity to the print medium.
The future. The final frontier. It has never been so uncertain as now. AI, VR, haptic wear, nanotechnology, mass destruction with a remote click. Now we are finally seeing the true potential and dangers of an ever-connected and overly policed hyper-technological world. Have we finally become the architect of our own demise? Is there still hope? Welcome to the future. Welcome to Punk Droid.
The writer and creator of numerous comic books and graphic novels, including Nightmare World, Tales of Mystery, Brave but Not Dead, all kinds of stuff. And I am super excited for you because you are getting to watch right now right this moment, out of all the things we're going to be doing, you're going to enjoy and revel in the Madness Comic Network. And that is awesome. Thank you for being here.
All right. Good morning, folks. Let's see. Lovely day. We are joined by Miss Corissa Grant from Worthy Chaos.
Woo.
We got my usual partner in crime, Charles D. Moisant, is here. And I'll be adding to the stage a window from Clip Studio because I invited Corissa to join us here today because on the stream I'm going to be
morning, everyone. This looks like this will be a fun show.
It should be fun. If I can get over coughing up my whatever the gunk is that I've got from allergies. Oh, where is it you're from today, Charles? You don't look like you're in your usual digs. Oh, I don't know that you can hear me.
I think that's a delay because he seemed to answer. Oh,
all right.
Or not.
So
now he's muted. I don't know if he was muted 2 seconds ago. But.
No idea. Well, I'm going to leave him there so he can pop back in when he wants to.
I did tell him last week about getting some earbuds if he's going to use his phone, because the speakers and the mic and the phone, you can't separate them. One's going to be the other. You see what I'm saying? So, it
doesn't surprise me.
Earbuds, Charles.
Well, so I might seem a little distant at times because I'm going to be focused on drawing, but I'm going to try and talk about this while I'm doing it. And like I said, we invited Corissa to come on just because I'm starting work on a cover that I'm doing for her book, and I thought that'd be kind of cool to do today, is to get her on. So what I've got open is my usual place that I work on comics out of. Unless I'm working traditional on illustration boards, I'll work out of Clip Studio, and I've got a whole lot of reasons for doing that. Clip Studio is a crazy program. It's so good. It's made with. I've never seen anything made with so many of the concerns that I have working on comics in mind. I mean, it's just. I sing the damn thing's praises all the time.
I believe my artist uses that as well.
A lot of us do. So I've got some ideas in mind here. I'm going to be doing a cover that features, damn it, what's her name? The name's escaping me.
Serafina.
Okay. So
Serafina and Anubis.
Yeah. And I'm going to be spitballing some stuff here. And Corissa, since you're hanging out, if there's anything in what I'm thinking that maybe you'd like to see different or anything specific you'd like to see in there, you let me know, because it's your book. So, I'm always about about making sure that the writer on anything that I'm working on is as happy with what I'm doing as possible.
All right. I do like to give the artist freedom, but I'll let you know. I trust you more than I trust me when it comes to covers. You know more than I do.
Oh,
I can write an entire. I wrote with my co-writer over 100 issues, and we still never know. I can't do synopsis for my story because for some reason I can't cut it down, and I suck at coming up with cover ideas. I know the entire story. I've been writing it nonstop for the last 3.5 years, but yeah.
So I've got this idea for a cover that I think is going to be. I think you're going to dig what I'm shooting for here.
I'm pretty sure you will.
So,
like I said, you know better than me. When I have to come up with I mostly started getting variant artists because I don't have to think of ideas. I just tell them, do these characters in this kind of environment, and then you do whatever the hell you want. Sometimes I get generic, and sometimes I get cool stuff. I
tend to work like when I'm drawing. I'll start from stick figures.
Yeah.
Most of the time. That's kind of my usual go-to. And I love the idea of doing the nurse outfit on this. And I've got a couple of references over here on my
awesome
on my iPad off to the side so that I can have some stuff to look to. Excuse me. So I'm thinking about something here where she's like, I found this photo that I really liked with this pose where the lady's hands are where her arms are crossed. And I really like, there's something about it that just looks kind of formidable.
Nice.
Like she looks like she's not fucking around.
That fits her perfectly. Are you the one that convinced me to do a nurse outfit for the rest of the books? I think it was you.
Wasn't me.
Nurse outfit, was that you?
No, that definitely wasn't me. But I dig it.
Well, I was talking to somebody who I told that technically she got the nurse outfit in issue 10 and she had it all the way through to 23, and then she was going to change it to something military. And then they said, well, people are going to be used to the nurse outfit. And I said, that's true. In every book, the nurse outfit upgrades because she went from a 1950s nurse outfit because of the asylum. Then she went to a modern one because she was the time of the year she was in. And now she's in a military. So we're going to look up like a military looking nurse outfit. So she's going to keep upgrading, but we're going to keep the theme of the nurse outfit because it seems to be appreciated. So
doing a set of scrubs.
That was like what I thought I was going to be stuck in until I came up with the dress idea. I was like, might be a little bit sexier, the dress, than some scrubs. But yeah. But knowing her, she would just rip the scrubs anyway. So
that's funny.
Let's find out. And I saw this.
You guys can probably hear one of my dogs squeaking over here. My my better half, Janice, had to go run some errands, and so my dogs always cry like big babies when she leaves.
Aw.
Yeah, they're goofy.
It's funny. In the house, my dog prefers my husband. Sits on him, doesn't like, gets all excited when he comes in, but she freaks out if they ever leave the house. She doesn't like going in the yard with them. She doesn't like going in the car with them. But me, she loves it, which is really weird because all I ever take her is like the vet. And like, why are you so excited to be in the car with me? But I guess because when I picked her up in Atlanta, we had to drive back. But I don't know. I think you'd be more worried that I would be taking you back to Atlanta.
Both my dogs, if there is a car nearby and a door open, they'll jump right in it.
Well, as a mobile pet groomer, I always do appreciate those dogs that jump right in.
Oh, get you to do my dogs sometime. God knows they need it. I hate trying to trim their nails.
Oh, I get that a lot. I have to always trim their nails, or I have some people that call me just to trim nails. When it's in the city, I charge $50 because to get to you is a bitch. And they pay it because they don't want to do their own nails. So I'll teach people how to do clear nails, but I'll never teach people how to do black nails because they're always going to bleed unless you Dremel them. So
yeah, I've got I don't know where it's at now. I had a little grinder sort of thing. I guess is like a Dremel sort of deal for taking care of their nails. Of course, since I've had a stroke and my left arm is not back fully yet, it's really difficult for me to do it.
Yeah, I bet.
So,
what kind of dogs do you have?
What's that?
What's the breed of your dogs?
One is he's half husky and half shepherd.
Two of the most shedders in the world.
Oh yeah, he I swear he farts another dog out on a regular basis.
I bet.
But yeah, he's my big boy. It's Mr. Heisenberg. And then his companion, Mr. Pinkman, is total Breaking Bad theme going on there.
Good show.
His companion, Mr. Pinkman, is a beagle.
Oh man, they're greasy dogs.
I love my beagle.
They are greasy, but they are the most genetically clean breed there is.
Really?
Yeah, they have the least genetic issues of any breed.
Huh.
On an average basis. I mean, obviously they still have usually not doesn't have to be not as well breed, but generally badly bred ones will have a lot of skin issues or allergies, but on a basis they are the most genetically clean. Yeah.
Yeah, my little guy had a skin issue.
I was gonna say, if anything, it's a skin issue.
Yeah, he was getting hot spots a few months ago.
Yeah.
That just he had like fur coming off of his backside, and it was really sad because there were points where it was kind of I couldn't help but laugh at him because he looked like he was twerking. He was bouncing his butt up and down to rub it against stuff, and it looked like he was twerking on the side of my couch.
Oh, poor thing.
But when I realized what it was like, oh, that's really sad.
Yeah, poor puppy.
But I love Mr. Pinkman. He's a goofball. He's under my desk right now.
Does he ever say "yo, bitch" or anything?
What's that?
Does he ever say "yo, bitch"?
On a regular basis, like every morning. What wakes my fiance up is Mr. Pinkman crawls into the bed with her, and he will inch his way up to where he is like looking right in her eyes.
Wow.
And then he'll take a paw and he'll put it over her mouth, and you could just hear him saying, "Shh, let it happen."
That's a start.
Let it happen. Yeah, I mean I tell her all the time. I'm like, that dog is a pimp.
Yeah.
He is 100% little pimp.
Wow.
Yeah.
So have you decided yet if you're doing Anubis as her partner or her enemy?
I actually wasn't going to necessarily do either. What I was going to do was have her kind of here with, there'll be harsh lighting on her.
Yeah.
Let me doodle some more stuff in here because boom, boom, boom. There'll be like harsh lighting on her. And then I was going to have him. Actually, I probably should make her a little smaller on here. I always do that. I always end up making things like if I'm working, even when I'm not working digital, if I'm working traditional, which when I'm working traditional, most of the time I've done the pencils digital anyway, so that I can position things and stuff easier than having to erase. I hate seeing eraser marks.
Oh, I bet.
On my original pages. Despise it. So I will pencil stuff digitally, and then I will print blue line out on an illustration board, and I'll ink that.
Nice.
So that I don't have to do any erasing.
I do love digital because I told you off the air, my artist will only ink now, and 2 pages ago, I felt that the 2 panels should have been reversed because sometimes he separates panels to show emotion instead of putting them in one panel like I listed. So I was like, need to reverse these, and all I had to do was move them after, so I don't have to worry about him having to redo it.
So I am just sitting a copy of your book over here off to the side so I can see Anubis.
Yes.
Let's see.
You've got the most references anyone's ever had.
So I've been kind of wrestling in my head thinking about Anubis's overall actual head shape.
Right. To give an example of what he's modeled after, he's not modeled after a jackal. He's modeled after a Doberman because the Doberman is one of my favorite breeds, and my co-writer has one. So if you need references, the best way to do it is to Google. I had to Google Dobermans to send to my artist, so he got a side view of how I wanted him to look and something. But yeah, I mean, you could do him any way you like. I'm just saying that's technically what he's modeled after. We want him to be a little bit different than the jackal. There actually is a jackal and a dog Egyptian god, but I like Anubis as the Doberman. And people don't seem to notice because half the time when they do the jackal, it looks like the Doberman anyway.
Well, I really like this, the look on the back of this hardback that I have here.
Yeah.
I like that that kind of skeletal sort of skull looking thing going on with the nose.
The zombified version of them. Yeah, it's very popular.
Yeah. You don't mind if I do it like that, do you?
No, you can.
Cool. Yeah, because I really dig that. I think that's just nice and ominous looking.
It reminds me of the skirt skis, or how do you say those things in Dark Crystal?
Oh, the Skeksis.
Skeksis, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of. It doesn't look like them, but it just reminds me of them because they've got that vulture look to them.
Mm-hmm.
I hate bag and boarding. I've bagged and boarded 600 so far. Yeah. Well, I just got in 700 issues, back issues, and some new issues. So bag and board them all. Pain in the ass.
So have you heard anything about what's up with Diamond right now? I heard that Diamond is about to start adding fulfillment to their services.
I heard that, but I don't know anything about it.
I guess Kickstarter has just waylaid them at this point, which is perfectly fine by me because, you know, I came up in the 90s when Diamond really screwed us all.
Did they?
So,
what did they do?
Well, the short version of it is around 94. They started, when I got into comics professionally, there were 10 or 12 different distributors. And you had a lot of different options as a publisher. You had a lot of different options on who you went with, you know, the different services they offered. I mean, you had a lot of choices. It was great. And Diamond kind of decided, you know, we don't like that. So they started gobbling up smaller distributors. And then as they did that, once they got enough of them, they ended up getting, who went with them first? I think they got Marvel to go exclusive with them. And when Marvel went exclusive with them, that put the nail in the coffin of like pretty much all but one other distributor who it was Capital City. And they got Capital City to fight it, got DC to go exclusive with them. So then you had Marvel with one, DC with another, and all the other distributors went out of business. Completely killed it.
Wow. Well, that's fucked up.
Well, and then because Marvel did have a larger piece share of the market, Marvel just put out more books than DC did back then. Marvel's always done this bullshit where they had like requirements for shops about how many of their, like if you want to carry any Marvel books, you got to carry this many. And
so jump in real quick and say, "Fuck Diamond." Diamond didn't help anybody a few years ago. They forced everybody to put pencils down. They didn't supply product to the fans. Screw Diamond. I will never support what they're doing or get behind.
I have never, like back in the 90s when I was in it. So they where they got Marvel,
everybody out of the industry back in the day, and nah, fuck them, man.
They had Marvel go exclusive with them, and then what was it? I forgot exactly how it went down from there, but it basically ended up that even though Capital City had DC with them, and they were able to hold out for a little while, it that it wasn't enough. They couldn't compete.
Let
And,
me say it again. They strong-armed everybody else out of the business.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So,
And what's funny is like now, like I saw something coming up soon with like a, I don't know, it's like some kind of a retrospective sort of thing about when Marvel and DC teamed up to do the amalgam thing. And I'm like, that's fucking rich, because amalgam, by my memory, happened when Diamond finally got Capital City to go under and was able to then have both Marvel and DC come on board. And that was sort of their way of inaugurating a new era into comics, was this amalgam thing. And it was trash. As far as I'm concerned, amalgam was garbage.
Well, it's trash today too. Look, Diamond, I don't care who you are. If you're not with Marvel, DC, or one of the other larger Dark Horse or Image, you're not going to get talked about in the Diamond book. You're going to have your little spot there. And if you don't tell people to go into their comic store, basically, if you don't promote your book in Diamond, nobody's going to know it's in Diamond. Nobody's going to buy it out of Diamond. You still have to promote yourself no matter where your product is available. You have to go do that work. Diamond ain't doing that work for you. They don't go tell everybody, hey, Carissa's book's on page 284. They don't.
It should.
You have to do that, which means even though you just paid them to get in their book, you still got to do the work.
Oh, yeah.
Screw Diamond, man. They ain't doing nothing for nobody. You want to really have a distribution company that cares about what you're doing? Critical Blast, man. You want to distribution that cares about your product, you go to Critical Blast.
I've heard good things about Luna now.
That's because Luna took one big one and somebody else took the other big one. And now they're, just like he said, they trained the store owners to be lazy. That's what Diamond did. And now that you have to order from more than one place, the store owner's like, man, it's work. So it's work. But if you want to put books on your shelves that people want, you're going to get them where they're available.
Yeah.
So, I see one guy trying to get little people, Ben Dunn, trying to get Antarctic, trying to get little guys over there in Diamond. And that's cool, except for, again, I don't know what page your book's on. How can I go into I've talked to plenty of store owners. Nobody goes through the Diamond book page by page going, oh, we need to order some of these. We need to order some of that. They look at what sells. They look at people's pull orders, and they go by what people have come up to the counter and said, hey, man, I'm looking for this book. Those are the books they're buying and putting on the shelves. If you don't and tell them, hey, man, Carissa's book's on page 284. Could you order some of those and get them on the shelf? If they don't know, they don't buy. If you don't go in there and act like a customer and say, this is what I want, they're not going to order those books just because. You know how many books are in Diamond? They don't order all those books. People think that they just order some of everything. No, they don't. They order what people in their store buy.
That's why I said I wasn't going to pay to be in there. Like,
it's just not.
Well, it's actually there. It's actually at a point now where, and Kickstarter is, I think, primarily responsible for this, where you don't have to be with Diamond anymore. You know, it's kind of cool if you are. You know, it feels good, but it's not.
I can tell you why Diamond's responsible for that. Pencils down. When they quit bringing books out to us. When COVID hit, they said everybody shut down. No, the little guys can't afford to shut down. They still needed to have a place to sell. They went to Kickstarter. They went to Indiegogo. They built their own websites. They did what they had to do to survive a bad scene. Diamond didn't help them people. Diamond said, screw all y'all.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they did to the fans, to the creators, to the company.
Well, I was so out of the Diamond loop on all that kind of stuff. I only barely even know what you're talking about, because for me, I've been a professional artist for 32 years now. And, you know, there ain't no fucking pencils down for my ass. You know, that pencil's always going because it's how I pay my bills.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they told everybody pencils down. Well, Marvel and DC just turned around and told their people, hey, quit making stuff right now. We ain't selling nothing. Well, that
as far as I'm concerned,
serve the little guy at all.
Whatever the situation is that causes, you know, those big players to say some shit like that, I'm just like, fine. You guys want to quit for a while, you quit. We'll fill in the gap.
Right. But then now this is my problem though. Diamond's the one that caused that issue. Are you going to run back to Diamond? Or are you going to find somebody else that actually cares about the product?
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's my issue. I don't tell people, hey, they say, I'm going to get in Diamond. I say, well, that just means I have to know what page your book is on in Diamond, or I can't help you promote it.
Yeah.
Every time you go on social media talking about your book, you got to make sure that you put, hey, we're in Diamond on page 284, because if you don't, nobody's going to know.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to know what page you're on in Diamond. Nobody talks. Look, Diamond is a thick book. It's a thick book. No store owner has the time to go page by page going, oh, that looks cool. Oh, I think I'm going to order 2 of those. Oh, I think I'm going to order some of those. That's not how this works.
That's never been how it works. No. You know, I mean, I remember back in the day, you know, the thing at every comic shop that I went to in the 90s, there'd be the Diamond previews catalog, and they would leave it out on the counter. Yep. And invite people, you know, to go through it. You know, here's the new Diamond previews. So go through that, and if you see something you're interested in, we can order it for you.
Right. And it's no different now. Except
it's actually a little weird to me. Like, I've been to a number of shops over the last few years because, you know, full disclosure, like I was out of the comic book business for a very long time because I was working primarily as a technical director in animation for years, many years, like probably around 20 years of my career. I was primarily an animation director or a technical director in the animation world. And, you know, when I come back to comics and I go to shops, I'm a little surprised that, you know, that more of them don't, you know, have the previews catalog out there for the, you know, for the customers to get to. It's pardon me.
Again, I think it goes right back to what RJ's saying. The whole thing with Diamond is it trains store owners to be lazy. They only had to go to one place to order stuff. They didn't even have to look. The fans would come in and tell them what they wanted, or their pull list would say, okay, you know, the 50 people want that Batman number whatever this month. We're going to order a bunch of those because they're on somebody's pull list. That's what they're looking at, how they order, okay? Now, Marvel and DC, like you said, there were some that, you have to buy this many if you want to get the 1 of 100 variant, and you have to do this. You basically have to jump through hoops to get the cool stuff.
That's something that still is really weird to me. Because one of the things that killed comics dead as Christmas back in the 90s was all of the different gimmick covers, the variant covers, all this kind of stuff. And then all these years later, I come back and I'm like, oh, look, we're doing this shit again.
Yeah. Did you see all the Venom covers?
No.
The Venomized covers. They Venomized every character in Marvel. Not in the stories, but on the cover. It was stupid.
Now, I mean, for me as an artist, you know, I mean, I get work out of some of that stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'll do a cover. I'll do that for you.
Well, my son,
you know,
I mean, Venom fan. We have a fucking stack of those things that ain't worth jack. I tried to tell him, man, quit buying new comics. They ain't none of them worth shit.
It's really, really strange to me, you know, that, like for me, I'm when I work on, like I'm doing a cover for Corissa right now, which I'm not looking at the screen, so I don't know if she's still here because I hadn't heard her speak up in a minute.
I'm here.
But, okay. Yeah, it's like I'm doing a cover for Corissa, but I'm doing this because she's got a good book and she's super cool, and there's that. But most of the time when I work on something, I end up being both. It's like most of the time when I work on something, if I work on it, I'm doing the whole thing. I'm doing the interior pencils and inks, and I'm doing the covers, whether it's pencil and ink or whether it's a painting. And but this rise of the dedicated, people who are like, oh, I only do covers. I'm like, the fuck is that? I'm like, well, la-di damn da for you. Aren't you special?
How did how did you two meet? How did you two find each other?
We've met multiple ways, believe it or not. I met him someone referred, I don't remember who it was. I think it was Richard that referred you to do my animation.
Yeah.
You did my animation, and that's the one you see popped on the video every time. Not the short video you have, but the longer video where the zombies get its head chopped off. That would be less.
Yeah, I animated that.
Yeah, and then I talked to him because of Derek, I believe, because you did the werewolf. Dirk, yeah.
Dirk Manning.
But I met him in person, and about the cover was because I was at the con on Saturday with my poor husband waiting outside in the heat because I wouldn't pay for him to come in. And I wasn't planning to do anything but see the one actor that I wanted to. And then I wound up seeing his table. Didn't know it was him. I was like blown away by his art, and he knew who I was, Pops. He knew my name. So I felt like a big time person here.
That's what I'm talking about.
I was like, what?
She comes up to the table, and it took me a second. I was looking at her. I was like, you look familiar, And I was like, and then I'm like, Corissa? And she's like, oh shit, It's like, how do you know me?
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, I see all your Kickstarters and stuff, and your books look great.
That was the highlight of my life. So
see, now look,
that's so funny.
That was the next thing I was going to ask, Les. Have you read Corissa's books?
I've skimmed through. She gave me this one, and I've skimmed through it.
The hardcover.
But I really, the amount of time that I have to read comics anymore is actually painfully limited.
Yeah, I know. Mine's down to when the power's out.
Yeah, I like. It's kind of funny. It's like, I've spent my life working in and around comics and working to work in comics. And it's like, once you're working in comics, the odds are you're not going to be able to get a chance to read them very much anymore because you're going to be working your ass off.
See, and this is me right there. It's like, I know, I mean, I'm in this chair. I don't have time to read comics. So I designated anytime the internet or the power goes out as comic reading time. I don't read them any other time. It's just when the power or the internet goes out, because it happens out in the boonies a lot, and that gives me something to do, right? But if I read them all now, then when the power goes out, I don't got shit to do. I
actually still keep most of the comics that I get a chance to read are because I've put them in my bathroom.
No fecal matter on the comics.
So it's like, if I have read your book, it's probably because I've pooped with you. I've taken you into the crapper. We're having some intimate time there.
No fecal dust on the product. I'm telling you, we don't do that.
It's terrible. I know.
Somebody asked me that once. Do you read comics on the toilet? I was like, no, man, I might sell this to somebody someday.
Yeah, see, I haven't resold a comic. Well, I don't have a huge collection. I only have a couple of boxes of comics that I just absolutely adore. And so it's like, I don't know. I think my whole deal with comics is, I just love comics, so I don't know.
since I got you both here and you're working on something, the next question would be, which issue is this going to be a cover for, Chris?
Oh, fuck if I know. Right now, 1 through 14 is already printed. So, and I think 15's Derek Chu. Probably 17. So it'll be next year.
I just want y'all to realize, I brought that up for a reason. This is book 10. This link right down here is book 10. They're inked through or done through 14.
Yeah, we're in the middle of 16. 15 is getting
right
colored.
now.
Yeah.
This girl does not slow down, guys. The comics are going to keep coming out and keep coming out. And this is the kind of series you want to get behind. One that you're going to get another book in a month or two.
Yeah, the next Kickstarter is June 14th. So
this one ends in a couple days. She's going to fulfill. She's going to go right back. Not even a month will go by and another campaign will start. A month will go by. Not even a month will go by and fulfillment will start. Not even a month will go by and the next campaign will start. Do you get where we're coming from here?
yeah, I ship out, except this time, the glow in the dark aren't ordered because I really didn't think that people would pay that. They're so expensive. They're triple the cost of the metal. So I won't be ordered, but I'm going to pay extra for the 2 week. It'll take 2 weeks. So you'll still get your books pretty early, but everyone else will be shipped out within 48 hours. So you'll get your comic. I am determined to get the issue 44 is series 1. It's got a great ending. If I'm not losing my house, I'll do series 2, which is 30 issues, but 44 is going to get done. So you're going to get a complete series 1. That'll be awesome. So I'm biased.
Wait till you've got like a whole omnibus of this stuff, you know?
Yeah. Well, at the end of issue 44, I am releasing a box set, and all the covers are going to line up to have one giant picture, and then the spine is going to have one different picture you can see across the thing.
I always dig that stuff.
Me too. I always loved with like when the DVDs or my manga, when they're on the shelf, you can just see this picture. I love it. I'm only working 1 day this week, and I moved 2 people to next week. So fucking lazy. I work harder for the comics than my main business that pays for the comics.
I hear that. I've been there and done that. I had to, when I was doing Apocalypse Girl, I worked on that book off and on for about 6 years.
Wow.
And like, there were times when I was like, man, am I ever going to get done with this? Because sometimes I would end up having to put off regular paying work so that I could have some time to work on it. And it was rough.
I got really lucky because I finished all 44 issues with my co-writer before we even started the comic. So I don't start the comic. I wouldn't start series 3. We've already started series 3 writing it, but it's obviously going to be done before any of it. But I wouldn't start, let's say, series 2 if it wasn't already finished. I have a great ending. I love the ending. It's great. So I can finish it. So if I had my way, I would do these 44, the next 30, and the 5 in the prequel, and I would be happy. The series 3 and 4 I love so far. I have 2 books finished and 3 started. So it's about 15 issues into it. And series 4 is the war. So I'm like super excited to do the war because it's Anubis and his army of mummies and Hecate and Hades and their army of zombies team up with my characters to fight against angels and demons. And we will have some Greek monsters thrown in there. So
that sounds awesome.
I am super excited. So series 4 is the war and the aftermath. And the aftermath is pretty much every monster, god, or demon roams the earth. And that's going to be literal hell on earth. So that'll be fun to write. So yeah, I have a lot of ideas. I also have a prequel, which is where the fathers, the angel and demon father of Seraphina and Draven, actually started their feud, and how they were created and how Anubis got into it and all that fun stuff. So there's a lot of stuff in my head. I just haven't written it yet. So
I am see me just erase that. I am stupidly anal about faces.
well, we're pretty particular about our characters too, so that works out. I rarely have, and I feel bad because Draven's obviously one of my favorite characters. I rarely have Draven in covers because everyone screws him up horribly, like horribly bad. Jeremy does him the best, followed by Fabio. And other than that, Victor does a good version of him. I don't know if it looks like him, but he looks so freaking cool that I'm okay with it. So, and those are three people that I would, I go back to all the time for covers. But most people love doing Anubis, so I'm just like, do Anubis. And now the new thing is obviously Seraphina in her nurse outfit pinup. So everyone loves that. So.
Yeah, it's just that's what you had mentioned to me. So I'm just like, okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, it's just not that you can't draw them. It's just easier. People love her, and because it's a mostly male-driven. Not as much as it used to be. Fortunately, I have Laurie and a couple other creator women in there. But even us women like the hot chicks. So,
Yeah.
It's very rare to see a hot guy in the cover.
Mm.
My regular cover is always them together, so that's kind of where it goes. I hate thinking of covers. I just can't stand it. And my artist hates doing them, so he cannot come up with I have to trick him into thinking it's a splash page for him to get the cover done right. Otherwise he panics or something and just I don't know. He's gotten better, but in the beginning I had to like fake it as an extra page, and then I'm like, there you go. So I don't know. He could do 100 pages with no issue, but the cover's like, well, this has to be here and that has to be there. And he just, I need to spell it all out for him. And I was like, I don't even know what I want. We'll see. I've got some ideas. This issues 14 through 22nd are my all-time favorite because it's my Resident Evil driven issues that I wrote pretty much 17 years ago.
Question. So is your favorite genre zombies, undead, or what area of the occult that you enjoy storytelling about?
I like the virus-driven zombies.
Okay, so you get more into techno horror, where you have the different vectors that alter the brain chemistry and then drives it. Now, are the people still biologically alive, or are they undead? How do you treat your undead?
So I have 3 different versions in the series. The issues 1 through 7 are the zombies from the underworld. So they're kind of more like the Living Dead, where hell is full and they're coming in because the town is merging with hell. In the second series, on the second book, in the Haunted Asylum, they're actually dead bodies possessed by ghosts. So it's a little different. They're zombies. They look like zombies, but they're pretty much possessed bodies. But my issues 14 and on, they're all virus driven. So they're more infected than undead. You can't fix them per se. And the virus is created in a unique, different way that's not expected. It's not just a regular virus in the lab. You could pretty much probably guess or predict it because I don't like surprises.
So basically, for your vectors of the storytelling, you have science gone wrong, possession from another dimension, hell, and then spirited telekinesis. Yeah. Well, one of the things I like to do sometimes is get GURPS source books and then start designing characters slowly based on that or things, and then developing the physics of the world, which is a lot of fun,
Yeah.
And this is one of the smart things about having Les do your covers is he gets it, and he is a budsman. I forgot how to budsman. He like has every skill and then some. You've heard of Jack of all trades, master of none. Well, he is the Lord of all trades, master of all.
Yeah,
which is kind of fun,
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So how did you and Les meet or start working together?
She mentioned that earlier, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had
she-
technical difficulties.
I met him through a couple of people online, but I met him last a couple of days ago. Was it last week at
It
a
was
horror
last
con?
weekend in Knoxville. Frankie.
Oh wow! Oh
Yeah,
yes.
I didn't know it was him, but I should have figured out the werewolf looked familiar, but to me it just looked amazing, and that was what my memory remembered.
Oh yeah.
But I had never seen your female drawn characters, or if I had, I mean, I'd seen like the Apocalypse Girl, but I had not seen. You had some amazing pictures on the table that I had just never seen before, and I was completely drawn to it. And he knew who I was, and I was like flabbergasted. So
Yeah, well, your pedigree is very impressive. You know, I could see why Les would be a fan, and why you have so many out there. And of course, when we cross cover and cross promote each other, I think it's a great way of us independents, working as a micro syndicate, where it's like, hey, did you have Les work on your cover? Oh my God, yes. Oh, let me refer you. Or hey, we had this guy or this gal or this one or that one, and then all of a sudden. Whenever we do a Kickstarter, we all just spread the word, and then boom, just by attrition, we all succeed. And I just find this fascinating.
me too.
What's going on right now in comics with that kind of dynamic is, in a way, not far off from the way comics worked back in like the 50s or late 50s, 50s, early 60s, and back in the early days. It's kind of, it's interesting how things, it's like the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Or it goes opposite. For example, I started with horror, and now I'm doing educational comics, which makes me the money. It's like EC backwards.
Yeah, that's funny.
Right.
I will say, so when my in-laws found out that I was doing comics, they've done you. They're phenomenally interested, which I think makes my husband jealous. But they're incredibly interested in it. But the first question to me was, "Isn't it super competitive?" And I said no, because I'm lucky enough that the community that I am supports each other. We share each other's posts, we cross promote, we back each other's. It's just, we just get our stuff out there to each other, and it's like we're not competition. We just love to show each other stuff. So
in the pre-KS days, Kickstarter or Indiegogo or the crowdfunding days, when I used to publish Clingman, and I'm actually bringing them back, and Les has the honor or horror of doing that. But it's interesting that the magic number seems to be 3,000 loyal fans, and if you can gather around 3,000 people, boom, you're set for life.
Yeah,
give or take a couple hundred.
I have like 150, so
which is still amazing. and the difference too, unlike the other days, it's like, okay, I got a floppy, it's $2.50, and then you got to sell X amount. You also dealt with Diamond, where they'd only give you 50 or 40% of cover. So if your book was $1, they give you 40.
Your own book that's fucking theft.
Yeah, and then they would resell it to the retailer, usually a markup of 20 to 30%, depending on the numbers of the retailer. And back when there used to be 11 different distributors, it was fairly easy getting to the numbers of 3,000 back in the early 90s, just because of just the amount of comic book shops. There were 7,500 comic book shops. So if each of them ordered 5, that becomes a good number. Wow, okay, I can make a living off of this. I can eat. And then the other magical thing, which, and you know this, we all know this, but the audience might not, is, the business side is Girl Genius. My friend who does Girl Genius, Phil Folio, he started treating emails like it was raw money. And he would do the book for free. This is before crowdfunding, and then make an announcement to all of his fans saying, hey, it's the end of the year. I'm going to collect it as a novel. Go to your comic shop, pre-order it. If not, then I think I should retire the character because there's not that much interest. Boom. He was happy making 30 to 40,000. When the Kickstarter happened, $250,000 on average, or $750,000. Again, he has an email list of about 100,000 fans. And that's, I think the one advice that I heard, ignored, and now catching up on, and it's amazing. How do you get the word out there about your amazing book and your brilliant writing and artwork?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know about brilliant writing. But podcasts are it, man. I've done 225 podcasts in the last 14 months. So that's it. That's all I do. I don't like cons, though. I'm a guest at a con this year for the first time ever. I got asked to do CreepyCon in Knoxville, August 1st through the 3rd, the 2nd through the 4th, which I'm super excited about because my table's paid, my food is paid, my Wi-Fi is paid, and I would have just been happy being invited. So,
a quick round of applause for that. Cheers.
I am going to frame the letter that I got. I love it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, super excited. They're going to add me to their website,
you deserve it too, because again, the quality of your work is really nice. You're entertaining, you're fun, and I think the reason why I love conventions, and Les is he has his own opinions.
I like some conventions.
Right. For me, I just feel it as giving back to the fans and letting them have and having fun.
Yeah.
And yes, you're supposed to make money and stuff.
I need to make sure that I have the link to their website so that I can promote it.
Yes, which is very important.
I can't.
All right, I'm going to go back into I'm going to go back into silent mode. But it's been amazing to make the acquaintance of and continue to grow and evolve. This is amazing.
It was very nice to meet you. Thank you.
I can only promote. I can only promote your appearance at the con if I have a link to the con's page. You know what I mean?
I'm not on it yet. I'm waiting for it.
It's like, I can still say Corissa gonna be here. I can still be promoting that show.
As soon as my banner is up, I will let you know.
That's part of it, man.
So, Corissa, what do you think about where I'm heading with this?
I think it looks amazing already. I love it.
I'm really enjoying it. I think this is going to be fun.
They both look badass. That's going to be a nice cover.
Yeah, I think so. Here we go.
It's kind of cool to see it from start to finish. I don't usually get to see that.
I tend to be really communicative with people that I'm working with because I hate having to do revisions, but I willingly do them.
Yeah.
And I find that if I'm communicating with people a lot during the process, that it really cuts down how often I end up having to do revisions.
I've never had a variant person do a revision. I usually accept it how it is. However, a colorist, the number one thing that my co-writer can't stand is for some reason they do Draven's hair red. So that is the one revision that almost every colorist has had to fix. She's just very, very picky with his hair color. But I try not to be picky. But it's nice when I actually really love it because it looks really good. But yeah, I was going to say something and now I completely forgot what I was going to say. Communication. So I never care how long it takes for a variant cover to be done or a coloring or anything, as long as I get communicated with. Like, if you're going to tell me, not you, but in general, if someone's going to tell me I'll be done in 2 days and then I don't hear from you for 2 weeks, I'm going to be pissy. And I had this, I'm not going to say who it is because we've made up, but there was a colorist who I wanted to work with forever. And I I sent them an art piece. Oh, they kept asking me for work, so finally I had one. So I sent them the inking, and they said, "Give me a week." Okay. So 2 weeks later, haven't heard from them. I said, "How much more time do you need? I'm not in a rush. I just need." Mostly that's my dyslexia, but also I'm trying to keep track of like 50 covers being made. So I said, "When do you think it'll be done? I don't care when. I just want an approximate, whatever." 2 days. Now, how do you not know that you won't be done in 2 days? You must know what your next 2 days look like. So 2 weeks go by and I haven't heard from him. So I write back. I said, "Listen, I don't care how long it takes, but don't tell me 2 days and then never speak to me again. So what is now? When will it be done?" "Okay, it'll be done in, over the weekend. I'll be done by Monday." So Monday comes and nothing. And I said, "Did you mean this Monday or next Monday?" No word. And then finally I wrote, "It's been now 4 weeks from the 1 week he told me." No, 6 weeks since the 1 week he told me. So I said, "Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like you and I don't want to work with you ever again. If this isn't done in the next 2 days, I'm definitely not going to hire you either way, but I'm not paying for it." So I said, "I think I've been incredibly patient. I had like 20 covers for you to do, and now I'm just going to give it to somebody else because you can't communicate." And I see him reading it. So it's not like he's too busy to read it. You're reading it. You read it right away, and you don't get back to me, and that pisses me off. Like I said, I don't care if this thing takes a year, but if you're going to tell me 2 days 4 times, then you obviously don't know what you're doing. So he did it for free. He says, "I'll do it for free. I promise it'll be better, different, blah, blah, blah." And he's done 3 since then, but I did not give him the 20 because I already gave him away. So he lost a ton of money. But he's doing better now. He like sends me too many updates, which I'm fine with. But it's like, I don't need to see every, arm you colored. I just need to know that you'll be done and whatever. Like the first thing I always tell artists is, I don't care how long this is going to take. I just want to be kept up to date. That's it. If you're going to tell me, like Derek Chu he told me the end of March, and May came around. I hadn't heard from him, but this guy I'm surprised he's even doing mine. So I'm thrilled. And I said, "Hey, I don't mean to bother you. I just want to make sure I'm still on your list." And he said he was sorry like 100 times. Like, "Listen, man, I don't care. You're busy. I appreciate you even talking to me. Just don't forget about me." And he said, "How about the end of June?" I said, "That's fine. And if it has to be longer than that, I'm fine with that too. I probably can't even use this cover till October. So, and it doesn't have to be October. And it doesn't have to be. I can literally use it anytime next year. I just don't use 2 big expensive ones together because then I probably lose money that way. So I usually do 1 expensive cover and then 1 still good cover, but a little bit lesser, unknown person. So I like to put them together. So,
well, I am actually digging the hell out of doing this. I'm enjoying this piece.
She looks so badass. I love her in nurse outfit.
That was the idea, because I just there's something about like the whole nurse thing. It's really weird because my mother was a nurse, and she was not a nice person. So like I have this weird thing with nurses, and like that's frankly it's part of why I avoided doctors until I had my stroke. So it literally wasn't until I had to spend 6 weeks in a hospital that I met nurses who I actually liked.
Wow.
So totally get that. I know nurses in real life that are total bitches. And I wonder how the hell that they go to work and put that fake face on. Okay, because I know they don't give a shit about me, But they go to work and act like they give a shit about them people in them beds. It's like,
oh yeah.
No.
Yeah, I have had very bad experiences with nurses.
After like you said, after I went in, I met a couple that I think are really cool, but I don't know them in real life.
Yeah. Oh, now there's this one chick that I had. She's not a nurse. She was a physical therapist, and I guarantee that in real life she's probably a real ball buster. Because she was a real ball buster of a therapist, but I loved her for it. Like I still I actually go back from time to time just to say hey to her and visit her, because she was like, I could tell, you know, she's like, okay, yeah, you've had this happen. This is what I usually expect out of people. This is pretty much like, you could tell she has been through it. And she had this voice that was like, I loved it. It was just a little gravelly. It was like, oh, you drink a lot.
Or smoke. Usually it's the smoke.
Yeah. And but she was like, once she caught on to, you know, me being somebody who actually puts in the work, man, she was like super cool.
Well, see, that's the whole thing. A therapist's job is to bust your balls. You know, their job is to motivate you, to get you to work.
Yeah.
When you're laying in that bed, that bedside manner means a whole bunch.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when you're laying in that bed and the only person that you can call to help you is that one lady down the hall, you know, it's like you kind of need her to be cool, because you're the one that doesn't know what's going on. She knows everything that's going on. You're the one sitting in that bed with questions. You know what I mean?
I'm actually going to get going because my husband just got home, and I'll be back at 1 though.
Yeah, you will. You'll be on Talk Show at 1 o'clock, guys, and we'll be doing a deep dive into the campaign. So,
did we just eat an hour with this?
Yeah, there's an hour and 10 minutes. An hour and 6 minutes.
We did. Okay, cool. Well, then in that case, I'm gonna hop off as well, because it's time to close the show out.
But Les, it looks amazing, and thanks for inviting me on to watch it. Even though Pops tried to yell at me and get me off and say that didn't
I have no idea. Nobody tells me.
Whatever. You should have just been happy to see my amazing.
It was a last minute
I was
thing.
just like, how the hell did you get in this studio? You're supposed to be in Doc's studio. That's all. I was like, how'd you get here?
It's because everybody loves Corissa, man.
Yeah. Pops loves me. He's the best.
Oh, I do. Very
So
much.
I'll see you at 1. Les, it looks amazing. I love it.
Cool.
All right.
All
Thanks,
right.
guys.
I will probably have this done by tomorrow.
Did she say issue 15 on this one?
17.
17.
Okay. Just putting in my pre-order now, Corissa. I'm gonna want this cover on 17 because
awesome.
lots of stuff.
And I would like to ask ahead of time, can I get a couple copies?
Oh, yeah.
You'd be shocked how many covers I've done for books over the last 4 years that I have not gotten a single. I've gotten exactly 2 of the books that I've done covers on, and then only gotten a couple of copies, and that was through the writer and not the publisher. I've been stiffed on my comp copies by every damn publisher that I have worked with.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'll probably have it printed by a couple of months because it'll be either will it be 16? It'll be 16 or 17. So you'll probably get a couple copies by the end of the year, even though it's not going to show until next year.
Cool.
It's and I'll probably bring it to a con or something, because hopefully you're going to be doing that. You know, eventually Nashville or something. I don't even know. I have to ask what Grant's doing with the Knoxville with you. Yeah.
If you're doing some more shows, especially across Tennessee, because I'm in Kentucky, but where I'm at in Kentucky, I end up in Tennessee a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I'd say we'll end up seeing each other pretty damn regularly.
Yeah, because hopefully, because
Now one of these times, y'all better invite me to come hang out for the weekend. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if there's ever any shows going on down here that you want to come to, Pops, you always got the guest room of my house is open.
There you go. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Thank you.
All right, later.
Bye.
You want to close us out, Pops?
I got you, brother. I got you.
All right.
Thanks everybody for watching today. Watching the Les Garner Comic Artist Hour. It's always a good time. Corissa, I didn't expect that. You guys got me off guard.
Yeah, it was just a last minute thing because I was thinking this morning. I was like, "What am I going to do today?" I was like, "Let's work on Carissa's cover." Well, crap! If I'm going to work on Carissa's cover, why don't we invite her to pop on for a little bit?
I didn't even know that you guys knew each other. So you see how that
Oh
works?
yeah. It was funny as hell at the show when she came up to my table and she was just like wide-eyed looking at a bunch of stuff, and she had a copy of her book in her hand, And I saw the book, and then I looked at her, and I put two and two together. I was like, hey, wait a minute. And I was like, aren't you Corissa? Isn't that your book? And she's like, yeah. And she got so excited. It was funny. It was so cute.
Told me she got invited to the con. I was like, this is the next plateau. Now you're at the point where people like what you're doing, and they're inviting you to come to their shows. They're not making you pay for the table. That's the next plateau. You're getting there, girl. You know, I was really happy for her, and as always, happy for anybody that I've watched come from issue 1 to wherever they're at now. You know, these are my people, man. I promote the hell out of them. As I said, make sure I get that link to that con so I can tell people where you're going to be, when you're going to be there, all that shit, because live appearances is the next level. It's fun to be out here doing Kickstarters and be out
of live appearances.
You know,
I've got to get the details. Now, I'll have the details before the next show, but there's a show going on in Knoxville. I'll be back in Knoxville next month, June 8th and 9th.
Cool.
So I'll have the details on that before too long. Looks like I end up I'm ending up in the between Knoxville and Nashville quite a bit.
Well, that's good because I got to visit Nashville sometime, and my mom will never forgive me.
Nashville's crazy now.
It's an Elvis thing. If I don't go to Graceland, Mom will never forgive me.
Oh, that's Memphis.
Well, it's Tennessee. It's all the same thing to me.
No. There is a big difference between Nashville and Memphis.
I need to go to all them places, though. The Grand Ole Opry, all them places that Mom, the music that she played when I was little, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I've been... Growing up, when I was a kid, we used to go to the Grand Ole Opry like every summer. It's crazy how many people I've seen and met and all that kind of stuff when I was a little kid. When I was too young to appreciate it. But where I live now, I'm about one direction I go. I'm 90 minutes from about 90 minutes from Nashville. About 90 minutes from the Grand Ole Opry. And then if I go due south instead of going east. If I go south, then about 90 minutes from Memphis.
Now, it ain't so much that I'm a country music fan. It's just that there's some things you do for your mom just because. You know what I mean?
I have a love-hate relationship with country music.
Me too. I hate it. I love that. I hate it.
The stuff that I enjoy, I really love it. But the bulk of it, I'm like, oh, God, no. Look, you know, it's like, why does so much of it have to be garbage? But I'm like that with everything. You know?
I'm old school with it. It's like Johnny Cash.
Yep.
Okay. You know, I'm old school with all that. It's like when it turned into Crying Your Beer music and My Dog in My Truck and all that.
Oh, dude. Here's a fun.
I can't listen to depressing music of any kind.
A fun factoid in my life that is a weird one was when my father died and my mother got remarried. She married a guy named Bill Carter. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Carter, he was like a state level politician in Kentucky. And Bill had a sister named June. June Carter Cash.
Yep.
My mother married into Johnny Cash's family.
Well, I have an aunt that has some country music connections too, but I ain't gonna talk about it or her because it ain't nothing nice.
I had a buddy of mine call me up one night. He was like, when he was working as a 911 dispatcher or a police dispatcher over where I grew up, and he's like, "Dude, you'll never guess who I just got a call on from a cop." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Hank the Third was out here." He's like, "What the hell's Hank the Third doing in Bath County?" I guess he was passing through for something and he got pulled over for speeding.
Yep.
So, and I think once the cop realized who it was, the cop was like, "Oh, we love you here. Yeah, go on through."
You know, as saintly and everything as my mom and my grandma were, one of my mother's sisters was a little bit of a groupie, a country western groupie.
Oh, Lord.
And back in those days, guys, in the 50s, You could get a lot closer to them than you can today.
Oh yeah. Well,
I
back in
got an
the
aunt that's been around. Let me put it that way.
back in the 50s and 60s, my dad drove buses for those people. So
You know. That's all I got to say. Then you know.
Depending on who she was, when it was, and who she may have been getting together with, she may have well gotten on a bus at some point with my dad driving it.
Everybody.
That's funny. That's funny shit. Yeah, my dad drove for Hank Sr. and drove for Willie a few times, drove for Waylon, drove for
There's
Taxi.
the main one right there, Waylon. That's the main one.
Oh yeah. I love Waylon, and I love
that's
I love Waylon's family, man. Shooter, his son Shooter Jennings is off the hook, and then Struggle. Like I've never been big on hip hop stuff, but Struggle, just what he's done with that and blending it with his roots is just amazing. It's really good stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, all right, dude.
Get on to
Let's
your
run the ending stuff, and let's call it a day. And we'll see you folks back here next week.
All right.
Thanks for hanging out, folks.
Peace, everybody. And
Later,
now,
y'all.
a word from our wonderful sponsors.
Glamorized and embraced by Hollywood, feared in the underworld, Benjamin Bugsy Siegel was one of the most powerful men in America. He was also one of the most hated. The man who gave birth to Las Vegas was gunned down in the luxurious home of his glamorous lover. Almost 80 years later, his murder remains unsolved. Who killed Bugsy?
How do you end this thing? How do you put the where's the brakes on this bus? I forgot.
Jazz hands. Jazz hands.